Would you start negotiating for a multi-million-dollar property before you even knew the infrastructure costs, the federal restrictions, or the preservation responsibilities? Because that's basically where we're at with Higgs Beach. The City Commission is being asked to move toward allowing the city manager to negotiate with Monroe County for the transfer of the park. And on the surface, the packet presents like it's a reasonable deal. The cover memo says the projected 5-year net operational benefit is about $223,000, while also warning that the numbers could change depending on grants, insurance costs, capital repairs, and maintenance obligations. So even the memo introducing the proposal is telling us that numbers are very fluid. Then you open the county packet and you start to see why. The county explains that conveying Higgs Beach comes with 2 significant encumbrances. The first is a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant, a federal program that places permanent restrictions on how park property can be used. Those restrictions don't disappear if ownership changes. They follow the land. The second is the Non-Directional Beacon parcel inside the park. That piece of land was acquired using federal aviation funds, and the county memo says the covenants tied to those funds will almost certainly prevent that parcel from being conveyed to the city at all. So before negotiations even begin, we're looking at a property that may not transfer cleanly and that comes with federal restrictions attached to it. Then there's the infrastructure side. The county memo outlines a recommended seawall repair program estimated at about $3.3 million between fiscal years 2026 and 2028. And the document states plainly that this capital project is not currently funded. So the same packet that shows the 5-year operational benefit of roughly $200,000 also identifies millions of dollars in unfunded infrastructure work. And that's just one piece. The county also references additional assessments and hurricane damage reviews that exist, but the packet doesn't include full cost estimates tied to those reports. Then there are the documents that the packet says exist, but that haven't actually been shown yet. The interlocal agreement states that the county maintains long-term files that include the federal grant documents, an Army Corps permit related to beach renourishment, and data collected about potential grave sites underground. Those documents are referenced, but they're not in the packet. And that last piece matters a lot. Higgs Beach is the historic African refugee cemetery where Africans rescued from illegal slave ships in 1860 were buried after arriving in Key West. Nearly 300 people died and were interred in that area. The interlocal agreement specifically acknowledges that the county has data related to possible burial sites. If there are preservation boundaries, disturbance limitations, or archaeological restrictions tied to that history, those constraints directly affect what can be built, repaired, or moved in that park. But again, the packet tells us those records exist without actually showing them. So when you step back and you look at the whole picture, you see something important. The conversation is already moving toward negotiating a transfer. But negotiations are step 4. Step 1 is understanding exactly what it is we're acquiring. Step 2 is understanding the legal restrictions attached to it. And step 3 is understanding the real costs of maintaining and repairing it. Then you negotiate. Right now, based on the documents in the packet, we're still on step 1. We have a preliminary cost-benefit estimate that depends partly on outside grants. We have identified infrastructure repairs in the millions that are not funded. We have federal grant restrictions tied to the property. We have aviation covenants that may prevent part of the land from transferring. And we have preservation and archaeological data that the county says exists, but that the public hasn't seen. If I'm sitting on the dais as a commissioner, that's the moment where I put on the brakes. I'm going to ask for grant documents. I'll ask for permit conditions. I'll ask for the burial site data. I'll ask for a real capital plan. Because until those pieces are on the table, I don't know what I'm negotiating for. And that's the part that the public also deserves to see. Before we start negotiating for property like Higgs Beach, we need to understand the obligations, the restrictions, and the real long-term costs. Otherwise, we're not evaluating a deal. We're evaluating a headline.